This is the iRest A306 full-body massage chair. After spending some time with it, I thought it might be helpful to share what I have noticed so far. This chair is for someone who wants regular, low-effort muscle relief at home. I see it fitting people who sit at a desk a lot, people who are on their feet most of the day, or honestly anyone who just wants a reliable way to unwind at night without scheduling appointments. It is also the kind of thing that makes sense if you know you will actually use it more than once in a while, because it is not a chair you tuck away in a closet. It becomes part of the room. The first thing I noticed before even turning it on is that it looks more like a modern recliner than a medical device. Mine is brown, and in my space it blends in better than the black ones I have tried in stores. It still looks like a massage chair if you know what you are looking at, but it does not feel out of place. The side lights are there, and at night they do add a little glow, but it is not bright or distracting. The size and weight are real. When it arrived, it was one of those deliveries where you immediately start measuring doorways in your head. Once it was in the room, I stopped thinking about moving it again. It is heavy, and day to day, it just stays where it is. So if you are planning to shift furniture around often, this will slow you down. The flip side is that it feels stable when you are in it. Nothing creaks, nothing feels loose, and when it reclines, it does not feel like it is tipping or sliding. One practical detail I appreciated is how it handles reclining space. I do not have a huge living room, and I was expecting to leave a big gap behind it. In practice, it does not need much clearance. When I recline it fully, it slides in a way that keeps it from eating up the whole room. It still takes up space, obviously, but it is workable in a normal home setup. Using it is straightforward. I sit down, put my feet into the foot section, and press the power button. The chair reclines and runs a body scan. In real use, that scan matters because if it lands wrong, the rollers can end up working the wrong spots. Here, it usually gets close on the first try. Every now and then, I will feel like it is sitting slightly high on my shoulders, and I will adjust the position using the remote. Once I do that, it stays consistent for the session. The roller track is one of the main reasons this chair feels different from older ones I have used. The rollers do not stop at the lower back. They travel from the upper neck area down through the back and into the seat area, so I feel it working beyond just my spine. The motion follows the curve of my body instead of feeling like it is moving on a flat board. It is not perfect, but it feels more natural than the basic chairs that only work the middle of your back. As for how the massage actually feels, it is a mix of kneading, tapping, and those blended patterns that try to mimic hands. I would not say it feels exactly like a person, but it also does not feel like a random machine punching my back. When I am tense in my shoulders, I can feel the rollers slow down and work that area for a bit, and that is usually what I want. On nights when I have had a long day at a computer, I tend to pick a program that focuses on neck and shoulders. Then I adjust intensity down slightly so it stays relaxing instead of sharp. Intensity control matters here. If I turn it up too high, I can feel the rollers more than I want, especially around the lower back. The padding back there is not as thick as I expected. That is one of my main complaints. If you are bony or sensitive, you might find yourself wanting a little more cushioning between you and the rollers. I have done the simple fix of placing a small folded towel behind my lower back, and that makes the pressure feel more comfortable without losing the effect of the massage. The air compression is something I use more than I thought I would. The airbags inflate around the shoulders, arms, hips, calves, and feet, and it feels like a steady squeeze and release. It is not painful and it is not aggressive. It is more like compression therapy, the kind that helps when you feel puffy or tight. I have had days where my forearms feel tired from typing, and I will run a session mainly for the arm compression. It is not a miracle cure, but it does make my arms feel less tense afterward. The foot section is a bigger deal than I expected. The rollers under the feet are intense in a way that surprised me the first time. If you are sensitive, you will want to start low. For me, after a couple sessions, I got used to it, and now it is one of the features I look forward to. I did not realize how much tension I hold in my feet until I felt it being worked out. After a session, it is that specific kind of relief where standing up feels different, like the bottom of your feet are not bracing as hard. Heat is included for the lower back, and I actually use it. I was skeptical because heat features are sometimes so mild they barely register. Here, it is noticeable, especially if the room is cool. I will not say it gets piping hot, but it adds warmth that helps the muscles loosen up. If I am doing a longer session at night, I keep the heat on because it makes the roller pressure feel less sharp. The zero-gravity recline positions are also something I did not think I would care about, but I end up using them constantly. When it reclines with your legs elevated, the chair feels easier on my lower back. I feel less pressure on my spine, and the massage feels more even because my body is not fighting gravity. There are multiple recline options, and I switch depending on whether I want to stay awake and read the remote screen or fully lean back and just zone out. Control-wise, I mostly use the handheld remote. The screen is clear enough that I do not have to memorize a complicated button layout. I can choose programs, adjust intensity, change roller width, and control the airbags without guessing. The chair also has voice control. When it works, it is convenient, especially if I am already reclined and do not want to reach for the remote. In my use, it understands me most of the time, but not every time. If there is any background noise, or if I say the command too casually, I sometimes have to repeat it. So I treat voice control as a nice extra, not the main way I interact with the chair. There is also Bluetooth audio. I connect my phone and play music or a podcast while I am in the chair. The speakers are fine. They are not going to replace a dedicated sound system, but for background listening during a massage, it does the job. More importantly, it helps me stay in the chair long enough to actually benefit from the session. I often set a session for around 20 minutes before bed and listen to something low-key. One program I keep coming back to is the stretch routine. The chair uses airbags to hold you in place and then leans you back to create a slow stretch through your back and legs. It is not harsh. It is more like a gentle pull. The first time I tried it, I was cautious because I do not like aggressive stretching from machines. This felt controlled and gradual. Afterward, my lower back usually feels looser, especially if I have been sitting a lot. Now for some day-to-day realities. This chair is not silent, but it is not obnoxious. You can hear the rollers and the air pump, but it is more of a steady mechanical sound than a loud whine. I can still hear the audio from my phone, and I can still talk to someone in the room without shouting. Cleaning has been simple. I wipe it down, and the material has held up fine so far with regular use. Fit is also worth mentioning. I am comfortable in it, and people in my family have used it too, including older relatives. The foot section adjusts enough that it works for different heights, but the massage will feel different depending on your body shape. If you are very tall or very broad, you will want to make sure the shoulder position lines up well for you during the scan. The chair can handle a good amount of weight, and it does not feel fragile when I shift around in it, but it is still a structured chair with specific contact points. The better you line up with those points, the better the massage feels. There are limits to how manual you can get. I can adjust key things like intensity and where the rollers focus, but I cannot program every tiny movement exactly the way I would if I had a massage therapist following my instructions. I rely mostly on the preset routines, and then I tweak intensity and position until it feels right. For me, that is fine, because the whole point is to sit down and let it run without thinking too much. But if you are the type who wants total control over every detail, you might find the manual options a bit limited. Overall, living with the iRest A306 has been pretty simple. It is a large chair that stays put. It looks fine in a normal room, and it gives me a consistent way to relax. The best parts for me are the full-length roller travel, the foot rollers, the lower back heat, and the zero-gravity recline. The main drawbacks are the weight, the fact that I do not want to move it, and the lower back padding that can feel a bit thin unless I soften it with a towel on stronger settings. If you are someone who will actually use a chair like this regularly, I think it does what it is supposed to do. It helps me decompress, it helps with end-of-day tightness, and it is easy enough that I do not talk myself out of using it. To learn more about the iRest A306 full-body massage chair, please check the comments section. Thank you for watching.